Hey everyone, welcome back to another Anime Kingdom reviews. You can see by the title below, this is on episode 25 of Macross Delta. Yeah, a lot earlier than I expected, to be honest. As you can see, I'm a little tired, but I saw it was on. I saw the subs were out. I was like, you know what, I gotta watch this. I gotta see how this second, to the last episode is. And to be honest, this episode is really like a calm before the storm kind of episode. You get a lot of dialogue in this one, a lot of learning a bunch of things. Obviously, Hayate's father, we finally do learn that he pretty much, he actually tried to make it so less people died from the dimensional weapon. And like in the end, I'm guessing from what it looked like, he was trying to make it go somewhere else, and then they remote controlled it and just blew him up, kind of thing, or something like that. I'm not too sure what's going on there. I'm guessing either they remote controlled, his plane, or he did it himself to let it just go off in the distance. But I'm guessing not, because obviously it blew up in an area where there were still some people that ended up dying. Obviously, we learned about before, but obviously it was really sad just hearing him talk about how he's not gonna be able to make it home and everything, saying Hayate's name and everything. So honestly, how do I feel about that? Like, I'm happy they finally, talked about it, finally showed some proof of what really happened there. Kind of a little anticlimactic on the whole part. I thought it would be a little bit more dramatic, a little bit more emotional of a scene. It was still pretty impactful and everything, and we definitely, it definitely showed, a weight lifted off the shoulders of Hayate for sure. He definitely now at least knows that his father was trying to protect people and everything, and he's not this cruel person that just, he was the one who dropped the bomb on, the Wintermans kind of thing. He didn't do it on purpose. He was a special agent, and he was doing all this kind of stuff. He tried to disobey orders to protect some of those people, and of course it got him and ended up getting him killed and blamed for the entire event. You also see that later on, Hayate's mom, during the scene, of course, with Hayate and Freya having their little moment together, he pretty much sends, Hayate's mom sends a box, and it was pretty much sent like a while ago. It's pretty much went all around the galaxy till they found him. To which, of course, it's like a bunch of memorabilia from, I guess, what the, Hayate's father had sent her and him, Hayate, before. And you have this super cute moment where, at least one thing also as well, this moment was super cute, honestly. Like, as you guys know, I'm a huge Hayate and Freya fan. I really want them to be together in the end. But there are so many damn death flags in this part right here, in this episode. First off, obviously, in this part, you see her talking about, she sees the picture. She sees him, that it's Hayate's father. And she's like, oh, I'll tell you later. No, tell him later. Just tell him now. Why you gotta wait for this? Why? And then, of course, other than that, there's still the whole part with, him pretty much saying, I like this. I like it when you laugh, this kind of thing. I want to protect you. I want to protect everything, and it's just like, it just screams that she's not gonna make it. Someone's not gonna make it. Maybe it's Hayate, for all we know. Who the hell knows? That, they did it may be completely different this time than usual, but honestly, from what the looks of everything is, it does look like it's gonna be Freya, including, in the preview of the next episode, it shows that Freya's hand was pretty much the mark, the scale thing or whatever that shows that Wintermans are, dying, is pretty much, it expanded even more down her hand, which just proves that, yeah, that's a lot of years taken off of her life already. And honestly, I'm predicting we have some super touching, close moment between Hayate and Freya when he finds out about this. And then from there, I'm not too sure if she's going to end up dying, if they're going to have it end where they do end up being together. But obviously, it's going to be not forever, or not for a long time kind of thing, because we don't know how long her life was taken away because of all of these events. So it's really, honestly, super scary for me, to be honest. Like, as a Hayate Freya fan, I'm honestly super scared. Like, it's one of those moments where you see this kind of scene, you're like, oh, it's so cute. I'm so happy to see this cute moments between them. But you can honestly see all the death flags going off, especially considering the next episode is the last episode. So literally, that honestly really scares me. Now, the other things that happen in this episode, first off, obviously, one thing I gotta say about two disappointments for me in this. Keith and Heinz are two huge disappointments for this anime overall. Like, I figured that Keith would somewhere along the way, just the way he seems like, he would end up fighting back, fighting against Royd. But instead, he's just like, you know what, I don't care about the galaxy. All I care about is protecting these guys. I don't care if my soul burns and stuff like that. And I'm like, what? He doesn't care. It made him look like he cared so much about Hines for a moment. He went to get, figure out what happened to the doctor, what was really going on with, Hines and everything. And then he just doesn't give a shit for the rest of the episodes, for everything. And Hines, it really looked like he was trying to, like, change. Like, he had this whole trial thing. Like, he was going to be, like, really listen to what they have to say. Maybe he doesn't feel the same way that Roy does against the whole galaxy kind of thing. And instead, he becomes this bitch that just follows whatever Roy says. Both of them, both those brothers, just follow whatever Roy says, really. And Roy has, like, some ulterior motives going on around here still yet that we don't fully know about. But it's also not for the good of the Winderman, really. He's just doing this for his own self-satisfaction, for the Star Singer kind of stuff. And of course, like, in this episode, you see as well that there's a bunch more pretty much 3-year-old bullying with poor Mikomo having to kill, at the very end of those credits, having to kill all those guys, the huge nuns fleet that was going to come. And of course, he's a dimensional weapon. I was wondering how they were going to fight that. I thought it was going to be a huge action-packed, fighting kind of fleet on fleet kind of thing, gun fights, throughout the next episode. But instead, all we get is, like, at the very end, her singing, and it just blows up 3 of the dimensional weapons, and then there goes the whole nun's fleet. Poor Mikomo having to do that to all of those people. Like, oh my gosh, man, I can only imagine how Mikomo is feeling right now, seriously. But other than that, it was pretty much like we learn a little bit more about who Lady M is finally. Well, kind of. In the subtitles, it did say that Lin Min-mei, I'm guessing I looked it up, and she's from the first Macross series one. So that's pretty crazy. They were talking about Mega Road 1. So that's pretty crazy that all of these are connecting. And people were saying, dude, what if it's Min-mei? What if it's Min-mei? And I was thinking, oh, that'd be pretty crazy if it was someone from a previous, Macross series. And from the looks of it, it looks like it is. Now, even though she is, or they're saying that's who it is, that's what the subtitles say and everything, and he was talking about Mega Road 1, and pretty much Burger did, pretty much that's what he was saying, it doesn't look like that's going to be a huge thing at all. It feels like it was just like, oh yeah, we get to know who Lady M is, but it doesn't look or seem like they're really just going to, like, have an impact at all for anything in this, to be honest. So it feels so weird that we finally get our answers for a bunch of these kind of questions that I've been wondering for a while. Like, I was kind of worried that it was not going to be enough time and everything. And you guys were like, nah, they'll throw those in. They'll answer them in these episodes. And they did. But honestly, after everything, after waiting for so long for these questions, after the amount of build-up that they had for all of these questions, it honestly felt super anticlimactic. I honestly am going to say I was kind of disappointed. I didn't feel as much of an emotional impact that I thought we were going to have for, finding out about Hayate's father. Finding out Lady M, she was like this huge enigma, this huge mystery. I was like, oh my gosh, who's it going to be? And sure, that's pretty cool and all. For a person that's an anime watcher only, that only has watched Macross Delta, it's kind of not as big for me. I don't know if it's big for you guys, but even if it is big for you guys, it doesn't seem like it's going to have a huge impact on the rest of the next episode. So that's another thing that's kind of like, oh, okay. I thought there was going to be a much bigger, huge kind of appearance of her coming in, and that's how the impact would come. But instead, it's just, a slight, Mega Road 1. So it could be blah, 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 blah. But, it's like pretty much assumed that it is Lin Min-mei. So that's, it's honestly kind of disappointing for that as well, Honestly, I have enjoyed Macross Delta a lot. I told you that before. But the amount of, like, how the second half of this anime has gone so far, the amount of build-up that's gone into it, and then, of course, finally we've hit the peak of it in the last episode. Honestly, all the questions I've had, it's honestly, we finally get it answered, and I'm happy for that. But it was not as big as I thought it was going to be. Like, the amount of build-up, it kind of just made it anticlimactic, in my opinion. But yeah, overall, pretty much this episode really was just obviously, first off, we see, Royd's plans and everything. We see Hines and Keith pretty much just falling flat and like, whatever, we'll listen to Royd, and using Mikomo to, of course, destroy the whole Nun's fleet. We learn about who Lady M is. We learn about Hayate's father. We have a whole bunch of death flags for Freya, and to see what's going to happen in the next one, and a bunch of cute moments for Hayate and Freya. So obviously the next episode I was wondering if when the love triangle would be, when we would figure out who he goes with, or who goes with, to which of course I saw that people actually say that it's normal for the love triangle to not be solved until the last episode. Is that how it is? That kind of sucks, but I'm honestly gonna say I'm definitely scared for next week's episode. I'm not too sure how everything's gonna be, how the action's gonna be, how everything's gonna end. Will we get all the answers? Will we have a good conclusion to everything? I'm not too sure how it's gonna be, considering how these past few episodes have been. I'm not saying I've disliked these last few episodes, but like I've said, too much buildup is not a good thing. And when you have all this buildup, and when you finally hit this point, and it's not as good because the buildup was way too much, it honestly makes it like, I'm not really too digging this. This episode overall, like I said before, is more of a calm before the storm kind of episode, with a bunch of, reveals of all the questions that we've been wondering, and of course the huge thing with Hayate and Freya. Another thing I gotta ask is, what was that song that was playing for when Hayate and Freya were having their moment together and everything? They were, reading the letters that Hayate's father sent them, and it was like a piano song. That was honestly, it was a really nice song. I really enjoyed it. I kind of want to look it up and everything, but I don't know what the song name is. So yeah, if you guys do know, feel free to comment below there, so I can go listen to it later. But yeah, overall, I'm excited and scared for next week's episode, as it is the last episode. Hopefully it concludes in a good way. If honestly, I still stick with the whole thing that if this was, they need more episodes, to be honest, and this could have been way better. Or if it was already planned to have, not, like you guys said, that it was planned for only a first core and then a movie. If it was planned fully, they could have done a much better job. But honestly, the execution of everything, the slow episodes that we've been having, the amount of build-up that's happened, it honestly just made it like not as amazing as I thought it would be for these final episodes. But who knows, maybe the last episode will definitely, make everything better. Maybe it'll be some crazy episode that'll get me hyped up. I'm not too sure. I'm definitely excited to see though. But yeah, that's all I gotta say, guys. Hope you enjoyed this Anime Kingdom review. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. If there's anything I missed and you want to talk about, comment below as well. And if you have your own opinions on how this episode has gone, anything good, bad, what you guys think, how the next episode will be. Do you think there's a possibility of, like, what do you think is going to happen for this next episode? Do you think it's going to conclude well, or do you think it's going to be a mess? Feel free to comment below on that. I always want to know the thoughts of what you guys are thinking as well. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, if you liked, if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe for more content. It really does help the channel. And yeah, that's all I got to say, guys. So till next time, see ya.